Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Morris Merriweather, and I welcome you back to another class of Straight Talk in Room 503. So glad that you decided to join me. If at this time you would allow me, as I normally do, to begin this class by talking about my hometown of Madison, Jackson, Tennessee. We're in the middle of some things that are going on that is also going on in Wisconsin, Illinois, Washington, also Michigan, and in your hometown as well. You've probably been sleeping, didn't know that it was happening. Because my hometown citizens, a majority of them has been asleep. Then we got some just afraid to speak up, and some don't know what the hell is going on. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time that we take an interest in public education, long overdue, because we're in big trouble. In my hometown, in less than 2.5 weeks, in fact, December the 7th, 2020, this county will come together, 2015, excuse me, not 20, I'm pushing things. 2015, on this dreadful day as it arrived, we'll be voting, the Board of Education, 9 members will be voting on the closing of at least 5 schools in this county. Now, they are now saying that that's 4.5 schools. They're going to keep a portion of it and use it for another purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, that's closing a school. You can cut it any way you want to in half and fourth. That school will not be operating as it presently do as a high school. I met this week with some people out in one of the middle schools, and it's a sad day. There was confusion all around. Let's picket it. Ladies and gentlemen, picketing is not going to do any good. These people are not listening. So and I told them I'll be one of the first people that will tell you that I'm not going to walk out my front door and picket. Not that I'm not concerned, but if I know that something is ineffective, why am I going to put my energies into that? I am going to come and tell you what I believe we should do. That's my personal opinion. Then some of them talked about pulling the students out or the child out of school. Ladies and gentlemen, that only works when you have the backing of the entire community, or at least 85% of the community. And right now, over 90% of the community is not backing one way or the other, and they sleep. They don't even know what's going on. They couldn't even intelligently answer to you. But ladies and gentlemen, here's one thing that we have done so here in my county. We have allowed the last 2 superintendents to be outsiders. They have been chosen by the board, and they have courted people from all the way from Florida and from Oklahoma. Ladies and gentlemen, what does that do, and what does that send a message to in my hometown? Are you saying that we do not have enough educators or intelligent enough educators that can become superintendents? It appears to me that's what the board is saying. If you have to go outside all the time, if you go outside to go shopping all the time, you're saying that the shopping center in your hometown does not hold the quality of clothing that you would want. That's what it says. Or you're saying, I want something different. And what do we mean by difference when it comes to superintendent? So I think it's a slap in the face to educators. Educators are quiet also as we struggle in Madison County to come up with what we need to do to improve public education. Let me take a look at this here. We have for a long time allowed our board to do far too much. I have looked around and I have not observed our elected officials, our mayors and our county commissioners as a whole. The majority of them have not come out. What that in the Chamber of Commerce? That simply tells me that somebody knows what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, the closing of school is all about the almighty dollar. We had no problem passing for a resolution to build a prison, $30 million prison. Ladies and gentlemen, they're taking your sons and your daughters who are unable to read, unable to fill out an application, unable to articulate, and they are building those prisons, making bed and making space for Johnny and Bubba, Shanika. They building those places because the other students who are reading on their grade level under effective teachers, they are moving out to private schools. And they leaving behind people who are unable to afford private school or not really interested in whether their son learn or not. Just get on the bus and go to school and let them babysit you, and I'll see you this afternoon. But ladies and gentlemen, why is it educators are not thinking? Why is educators are not talking? Where is the religious community? They are not there. I have not, during the whole time that we're talking about closing schools and board meetings, whatever, there's never been at least 20 ministers. We got churches on every corner. So what are the religious community doing? What will they tell God when he said, what have you done for the least of thee? What will they tell God? It will be so many people from the religious community that are on their way to hell that we're going to be they will be very surprised because they're thinking they're going to heaven too. Ladies and gentlemen, Kimley Horn is the firm that will be closing, or recommending the closing of schools. In my research also, and you can research it too, also Kimley Horn organization has also been in Daughtry County, Georgia, where they closed at least 3 or 4 schools there. And the schools are still closed. They're not changed. And now they're in Madison County doing the very same thing. It's about the almighty dollar. Millionaires will be made right here in my hometown because they have the chairman of the school board owns a construction company. He's doing the appraisals. The superintendent is working with the chairman. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll sleep at the wheel. They are building prison. They are prioritizing prison. That's prison for profit. Human beings for profit. So they have to have a feeding mechanism for the prison. How do we have it? Continue to pull the best teachers out. Let the schools fall in. Let's close some schools. It's all about the almighty dollars, and you sleep at the wheel. Your tax dollars are paying people to keep your child down and prepare them for the prison system. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a sad day in public education when we allow this to happen. They're closing schools and they're doing things in every county, including yours. We're going to come back after this small break and we're going to talk about teacher shortage, and we're going to talk about a teacher who just decided, I can't do it anymore. I think I'm just going to simply retire. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the reason the title of my book is Enough is Enough. The title of this class session is Enough is Enough. It's time to do something. Join me as I'll be back with you shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the final session of Straight Talk in Room 503. As I mentioned in the first session, we will talk very briefly on teacher shortage. There is a teacher shortage across this nation. One of the reasons, or some of the reasons are, teachers are no longer have desire to be in the classroom. They're not respected. They are not recognized. They have no voice into what is being taught in the classroom, how to teach their students. And so few teachers are coming out of the college classrooms now and into the public education system. In this article that I have here are talking about shortages in Wisconsin, Illinois, Washington, as well as Michigan. And there's also a teacher shortage in your hometown as well. And there's been a shortage for a long time with male teachers because they're going elsewhere. Those who would make good teachers are going into private schools, academy, charter schools, and so they're not coming into public education because public education, as in my book, has spiraled out of control. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll allow me, I would like to read to you about Miss Wendy Bradshaw. She is a teacher in Polk County, Florida. She decided that it was time to call it quit, and so she retired. The article reads in today's, Wendy Bradshaw loved teaching, but when the new mom realized that in 5 years she would be sending her baby daughter into the same public school where she worked, the thought filled her mind. She felt sorry about what could perhaps happen. So she resigned and explained why in a letter that is going viral with parents and teachers across this country. Like many other teachers across the nation, I have become more and more disturbed by the misguided reforms taken place which rob my students of developing appropriately in education. Bradshaw wrote to the Polk County School Board in Florida in a letter she later posted on Facebook. I just can't justify making students cry anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a sad day. I can't justify making students cry anymore. They cried with frustration as they was asked to attempt things that was well out of their zone. Their little shoulders were slumped with defeat as they was put in front of poorly written tests that they cannot read but must attempt. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a sad day. Whitney Bradshaw had her daughter June the 1st, 2015. Totally changed her perspective on public education system. And she realized she could not in good conscience be a part of public education anymore. A statement by the board of Polk County School System. This is what the board said. We understand her frustration. The board is not crazy. The board knows exactly what they're doing across this country and in my hometown as well. So they're saying, we understand the frustration. Well, if you understand my frustration, why are you not doing something to change it? Because they don't want to change it. Everything now is for profit. Polk County Superintendent said this, ladies and gentlemen. I generally agree. This is the superintendent. The problem is that the accountability system is smothering everyone. They know what's happening. We cannot afford to lose any more good teachers. But what are they doing to preserve and keep good teachers? Absolutely nothing. She told the newspaper, I don't know what's going to happen to our public education. If the superintendent doesn't know and the Board of Education doesn't know, who in the hell do know? If we can't recruit and retain good teachers, and they're not doing one blame thing to turn it around. Bradshaw told Today, parents, the disorder in the public school is caused by the lack of input from child development professionals, a lack of professional development surrounding the new standards, the lack of concern for each child's individual readiness and development. Listen to this and we'll call it quits. Bradshaw said since posting her resignation letter, she received support from people who feel the same way. People, parents, who now homeschool their children due to curriculum issues. Teachers who says they retired because of the new standard. And parents with kids in public schools feel the same frustration as she does. And she said the only way things will change is that their parents will do the same. Advocate. Write your school board. Write your legislator. Tell them your story. Because legislators and elected officials respond to compelling stories. Bradshaw also said parents should be aware of what is being taught in their classroom with their child, as well as what are the expectations placed on their child. Ask what test your child is taking. What's the purpose of the test? Ladies and gentlemen, it's a matter of asking questions, finding out what's going on. We have been asleep too long. And ladies and gentlemen, just as bears hibernate during the winter, we're hibernated too long. And by the time we wake up, it'll be too late. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Morris Merriweather. I'm here to bring to you the unadulterated raw truth. It has long been time that we've become concerned about what's going on in public education. They're building prison for the children of public education who cannot read, who are having violent outbursts in the classroom, disrespect toward teachers. They have jails and beds waiting for Johnny just as soon as Johnny turns 18 or 16 if they try him as an adult. It's for profit. We have allowed superintendents to come into our districts, outsource everything that we have been doing in public education for profit. Superintendents' pockets are becoming fat. Board members who are also have construction companies, subcontracting out, closing school for the benefit of making money. Millionaires will be made across this country on the backs of public education, while private school students are being prepared to run this country. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're satisfied with the status quo, then don't do anything. Those of you who are concerned want to do what God would have you to do, and that's to treat everybody right and make sure that every child get a quality education. Then join me as we take on this struggle to improve public education. Join me again next week. If you haven't had a chance to purchase my book, go to my website, www.morrismerriweather.com. You can purchase there. You can purchase on Amazon. You can also purchase at Books A Million. You can purchase it in my hometown. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time you know the truth, heed the truth, and do something about it. The religious community is asleep. The elected officials that we appointed are asleep. The board is asleep. And our kids are falling asleep because they're not ready for what's coming to them. Ladies and gentlemen, join me again. It's been my joy and my pleasure to bring you the truth. It's a joy for me to bring the natural truth to you, the raw truth to you, and hope that you'll do something about it. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in future session. Thank you very much.